What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. Let's review that insipid performance against the Doggies. So, just before I jump straight into this review, I'm actually recording this at 12:30 a.m. Saturday morning. So right after the game, I got home about 45 or so minutes ago. Let's just get into this review because I have got a lot of things to say. So if you watch my preview, if you've seen me on Twitter or on social media, I had us winning by like 30 points, by 5 goals. I thought this was going to be one of those games where we would see kind of where we sat against a Bulldog side that has been up and down, probably playing worse football than we have. But of course, I forgot that teams, no matter where they are on the ladder, they always play their best against us. And this was probably the Bulldogs' best game this season. Probably the best game since one of the finals that they probably won last year. Because they just came out straight from the blocks. They kicked 6 goals in that first quarter. Didn't have an answer to them. And look, they finished with 14 goals. So, you know, they piled on a bunch of other goals. But that first quarter is what really just cooked us. We just didn't have an answer, and they were just quick. We were just lacking pressure, and it just looked like we didn't turn up to play a game. It looked like, you know, against Richmond, our pressure was right down from where it has been. Against the Doggies, it was even down further. I don't know how that's possible. At the end of the game, the Doggies had 40 more contested possessions than us and 37 more ground ball gets than us. You're not going to win a lot of games of football when you're negative 40 for contested possessions. We built our brand, or we're building our game plan, our brand this season on pressure and then exploding through the middle and this and that. We just didn't get any of it. We were getting cleaned up in stoppages, cleaned up in clearances, where I called in my preview, no English, no Steph Martin as well. I thought Darcy Cameron, and maybe Begg, but I thought Darcy Cameron would have been able to, help us out a little bit more. You just see how insanely important Brodie Grundy is to this team. Who was Cameron and Begg going up against? Sweet, I think. They couldn't even beat him. So that's where the game was won and lost, unfortunately. We kicked 2 goals for a half of football. We have been averaging 90 plus points this season. We finished with 51. It just wasn't on. It was a look for not to mince my words, but it was a pathetic performance. It was insipid. It was pathetic. Probably the worst football I've seen us play in so long. And I'll get into maybe a couple more reasons why a little bit later. But it was just like we were watching the old school Collingwood. You know, the shitty version of Collingwood. Not something that we've grown with Craig McRae's team this season. I hope that this was an anomaly. We didn't have any. Okay, we kicked the first 3 goals of that fourth quarter, and you get a bit G'd up. You go, okay, we might pull off something here. But besides that, we didn't play any good football. The second quarter, I'll say it. We had a lot of possession, a lot of the ball, a lot of pressure in that second quarter. We had 1 goal to show for it. We finished with 7 goals, 9. I think we kicked 2 goals, 5 from set shots. So that was ridiculous as well. The accuracy and going inside 50 and not using it properly. Our forward line is a shambles. Our defensive back line is a shambles as well. It was just a crazy game of football where, you know, credit to the Bulldogs. They played really well. They played out of their skin. But yeah, we just couldn't get going. I did tweet, and I got a lot of backlash for it. I did tweet something like, we could roll this Bulldogs team if we wanted to. The boys are just shithouse, or whatever I said. I didn't say shithouse. I said the boys are just unmotivated. Now, I guess it didn't come across how I was thinking it. I think I tweeted that in the second quarter. Now, what I meant by that is that I didn't rate the Bulldogs obviously going in, and I still didn't rate them throughout the game. I know they were beating us by heaps and stuff, but take away that first quarter for a second. I know it's hard to take away first quarter where they kick 6 goals. But after that, we kind of matched them. Like in that second quarter, like I just said, we had a lot of the ball. We had pretty much all the play. And we just had 1 goal to show for it. 1 goal, 3 we kicked to show for it. I feel like if we had just clicked into gear, we could have ran over the top of them. And I know it's a big ask, but, you know, an extreme example, Geelong did it against us. Brisbane did it against us as well. You know, if Pendlebury was playing, he goes into the middle. You switch it up a little bit like that. I just think that we could have rolled them. We were just unmotivated. And that wasn't just like rolling them for a comeback. That was just, we could have rolled them from the start if we wanted to. We were just unmotivated. That's what I said. We could have rolled them if we wanted to. But we just didn't want to, it seemed. You know what I mean? Yeah. This was an 8-point game that we lost, unfortunately. So I want to talk about some of the reasons, or the personnel and stuff, and why I think we lost, and I'm kind of like a little bit like that. Pendlebury was a late out. That's huge, right? Goes down with the flu that's just been ravaging us for the last 3 weeks. Ginnivan was out because of the flu as well. People haven't been training. Training hasn't been together. There's been a chunk of people missing, players missing while they've been training and stuff like that. That happens. Callum Brown goes into the best 22, or into the starting 22, sorry. Finn McRae becomes the emergency sub, so the medical sub. Halfway through the second quarter, Jack Madgen, coming in for his game, dislocates his shoulder pretty badly. He's subbed out, so we lose that defender. Darcy Moore can't do that intercepting thing that he usually does. He goes and plays back. That sucks, right? I don't care what you think about Jack Madgen. I'm not talking about him as a player. I'm just talking about losing another defender. No Roughhead, no Dean, no Madgen. You know, all these other sort of little things here and there. They just pile up, and I think it's just come to a head right now. Forward line has been off. Our defense has been off. We've lost a key fullback. We've lost a key forward in Jack Ginnivan and Jamie Elliott as well. Brodie Grundy, Nathan Kruger. So, look, I know teams have injuries and stuff, and this is not an excuse, but all of those are a compounding factor. I saw a really good thing on Twitter just before. I can't remember who tweeted it, where they said that being where we are now, 4 wins, 5 losses, is probably where we saw ourselves at the start of the season, sort of thing. They said that the kind of the wins that we had, I think we were, what were we, 3-2 at one stage, or 3-3 at one stage? Yeah, we were 3-3 at one stage, or 3-2, whatever it may have been. That kind of gave us that false promise, that false hope. And those, from going to 0 expectations to 100 expectations, these losses really, really, really hurt. But we do have to know that we are a developing side. We are a developing game plan. And I said this in my review for the Richmond game as well. These losses are going to happen. We're just too young. Not too young. We've got a lot of young players. They just looked out on their feet today. A lot of players that were just not pulling their weight. And look, I hate calling out players on here because that's not what this is for. But sometimes it's really necessary. Ollie Henry, he was jumping at him. He was marking them. He wasn't confident at all. Missing that first shot. Passing off that second shot. Yes, Jordan De Goey shouldn't have called for it, but whatever. Missing that second shot. Looking at wanting to go somewhere else. He just needs to get that confidence. But he can mark, he can run, he can jump. He's going to be a good player, but he just has to back himself in, because there was one stage where he was lining up for a shot at goal. He missed. It went all the way back, and I think it was in the first quarter. He missed. I think it was the Jordan De Goey one. Missed, went all the way back. Bulldogs score, and then they get that momentum. It's these momentum shifts that just absolutely mess you up. Another one, Cal Brown comes in for Scott Pendlebury, right? 5 disposals, 1 or 2 tackles for the entire game. I don't see him playing next week at all. Finn McRae, I don't have his stats up there, but from what I saw, he hadn't played, obviously he played a half of football. He just looked like he wasn't running or anything like that. And, you know, and there was a couple of other people that really weren't pulling the weight, but I just wanted to pick those sort of 3 out. I keep persevering with Ollie Henry, but I think that Mason Cox needs to come into this team. I love Mason in the ruck. Play him in the ruck and play Dusty Cameron forward or something like that. Or give Aiden Begg a bit of a rest, you know. Cox is that target up there, especially not with Jamie Elliott. I feel like he's just getting punished in the VFL because I think he just benefit the AFL team a little bit better. I know, sometimes you can't mark and whatever, but I just think these sort of situations needs a Mason Cox to help out a little bit. But in saying that, there was not quite a bit to like. Jack Crisp, I think, did really well. Q did well. Noble has come out of nowhere. He's done really, really well. He was a whipping boy for a long time, but I feel like he's even gotten better over the last couple of weeks. Something I want to point out as well is that with no Roughhead and with no Magin, Maynor, what the hell? Maynor? I don't know. Quaynor and Braden Maynard kind of have to play deeper. There was times where Quaynor was on Norton, Quaynor was on Buku as well. So they have to play these as these defenders that, like these tall defenders that they aren't, and we lose that run from them that they usually give us in the first couple of rounds. So we need Jordan Roughhead back. We need to draft a full back. I know Dean's coming through, but who knows when he's going to be ready. He just started running. And there's all these other factors. It was a really insipid, I'm going to say the word again, pathetic performance. Like, the guys just didn't bother. That's what it looked like. And I know they're going to be hurting from this loss, and I know that they don't just go out to a game and say, oh, well, we're not going to try today. I get that. But that's just what it looks like, you know what I mean? That's fine, we can say that. We know that they give their all, but it just looked like they just weren't. And yeah, it was just really, really, really disappointing, and I'm just really flat. I'm really, really flat. And this is probably going to be me for the rest of the weekends. But look, anyway, just wanted to come on, give you my raw emotions at the game. It's 10-1 now, so I'm going to start editing this video. It goes up tomorrow morning probably, or today morning whenever you're watching this. But yeah, hopefully, and we got 3 matches for next week. So let's leave that for another day. But let me know your thoughts of the game down below. As always, love to read your thoughts. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.